evening, and welcome to the 126th commencement exercise of Enfield High School as we honor our graduates of the class of 2018. My name is Elizabeth Collins, and I'm co-class president along with Mr. Tyler Murphy. Both Tyler and I will be working together to facilitate this graduation. Carrying the American flag is Nick Martin, who is joining the U.S. Air Force. Carrying the state flag is Megan Connery, who is also joining the U.S. Air Force. They are led by Lieutenant Colonel Richard Fairley, our United States Air Force Academy liaison officer. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now invite the senior choir to come forward to sing the national anthem.
Host the colors! Your country thanks you and your classmates who chose to serve. Dismissed.
Tonight is a joyful celebration in which we recognize the accomplishments of our graduating class. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the students. I ask for your cooperation so that we can make this a truly dignified ceremony for the class of 2018. Please remain in your seats for the entire program so that we do not obstruct someone's view. Thank you. Before we continue with the program, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize a few people who have joined us here this evening. Mr. Walter Kurzel, Chairman of the Enfield Board of Education. Mrs. Charlotte Riley, Vice Chairperson of the Enfield Board of Education. Mrs. Tina LeBlanc, Secretary. Board of Education members, Mr. Christopher Rutledge, Mr. Timothy Neville, Mr. Richard Renier, Mrs. Ashley DePoe, Mrs. Sarah Hernandez, and Mayor Michael Ludwig. Superintendent Schools, Mr. Christopher Drezick, Deputy Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Andy Longy, Chief Academic Officer, Mrs. Michelle Middleton, Chief Information Officer, Mr. Guy Barassa, Chief Personnel Officer, Mr. John Kosha, Principal, Mrs. Erin Clark, Assistant Principals, Mr. Connell Clark, Mrs. Laura Gagnon, 12th grade Dean, Mrs. Altresa Coxa-Bockwell, Class of 2018 Advisors, Mrs. Mary Grout, Ms. Amy Bartholomew, members of the Enfield High School faculty, valedictorian of the class of 2018, Ms. Orly Berry, salutatorian of the class of 2018, Mr. Jason Chen, parents and honored guests. Grand Marshals, you may seat the graduates. At this time, we would like to pay a special tribute to all of the graduates who plan to enter the armed forces. Would all the graduates planning to enter the armed forces rise so that we can properly recognize your commitment to serve the country? Thank you. You may be seated. And now my final regards to the class of 2018. 103,000. That's how many hours we have spent awake on this earth since birth, learning how to crawl, walk, make connections with other people, and most importantly, how to talk back to your parents. 13,400. That's how many hours we have spent in school since kindergarten. That is 13,400 hours of meeting new friends and teachers, creating memories that will last a lifetime, recess, and learning that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of a cell. That is 13% of our lives that we have spent with each other, learning with each other, bonding with each other, laughing and crying with each other. 4,800. That is 4,800 hours that we have spent in high school together. That is 4,800 hours of laughter, tears, and calculating the hypotenuse of a right triangle. It's also the time we have really gotten to know each other, the time we've gotten to realize who our true friends are and who are not, and the time we've learned how to drive, some better than others. 1,200. This is how many hours we have spent as a senior class. In the last year of high school, we have all learned something. Senioritis is real. However, we pushed through until the end of high school, and here we are. 2 hours. Right now, we are spending the last 2 hours of our high school lives together as a complete 2018 graduating class. When I was a freshman, I really didn't believe them when they said high school goes fast. After tonight, many of us may never be seen again, and some of us will see each other every day. Tomorrow will be the first day that we are on our own. the first day of our new adventure called life. Although we are mourning the loss of our high school years, opening a new chapter is always a good feeling. It may be frightening, but we are the authors of our own story. We can write it however we want to. The best and only advice I can give to the class of 2018 in this new chapter is that if you ever find yourself falling down, just pick yourself back up and move forward. Will there be bad days? Of course, it's life. But the good days will always outweigh the bad. Our class has always been there for one another. Of course, we may not always like each other, but we always have each other's backs. We are like a big family. I am proud to say that I am a part of the graduating class of 2018 at Enfield High. Everyone has amazing potential that will follow them throughout the rest of their journey, and I hope it gets them to where they aspire to be someday. I am so proud of what we have accomplished as a class. We fundraised better than many other classes that have previously graduated, cut down costs for school events and such as prom and senior activities, and we are very competitive and even won during our pep rally this fall. Being a part of this graduating class is an honor. One last number I would like to talk about, 373. That is 373 amazing seniors who are sitting beside me. I must say, we definitely have the best graduating class that has ever walked through those doors. All 374 of us have the potential to do great things and make a difference. I am honored to have the privilege to represent, along with my co-president, the class of 2018. I wish everyone the best of luck on their journey. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite our other class president, Ms. Elizabeth Collins, to give her remarks to the class of 2018.
Good evening and welcome. As a part of the graduating class, I want to thank the teachers, families, and friends that are here to celebrate this monumental day. Recently, I came across a quote, "Time moves so slowly, yet passes so quickly." Initially, I thought it was ridiculous, because time is one of the only constant aspects of life, but I stand corrected. Just Monday, we were all anxiously awaiting for the bell to ring. Those 5 minutes that seemed like a lifetime are now a memory. There are some events we'll memorialize forever, like the Olympics at class picnic, or getting ready for the prom. Believe it or not, you will miss the bad just as much as the good, like waking up when it's still dark out, or stressing over college applications, or even failing your driving test 4 times. But as I'm standing here today, I realize that as I was waiting for the bell to ring, I wasn't only excited to go home. I was ready for my life to begin. Along with new experiences and independence, we are also given an opportunity to start over, a clean slate, a chance to become a person you truly want to be. Because, let's face it, everyone has done something they regret. But as of right now, you can forget that and become an even better version of yourself. Over the years, I have learned that if you want results, you need to make an attempt. Like Lucille Ball said, "I'd rather regret things I've done than regret things I haven't done." Once we take off our caps and gowns, we enter a world of endless possibilities. If there's one thing that I ask, it's that you seize every opportunity you're given. Limits are not real unless you make them. When Ryan Gosling was working on the musical La La Land, he said, "I've learned it's important not to limit yourself. You can do whatever you really love to do, no matter what it is." As an actor, he auditioned for a musical. At the time, the world didn't know he could sing. And Ryan knew he wasn't the best. But that didn't stop him. He tried because he wasn't afraid of rejection. The idea that he had a chance, was enough for him. Whether you are going to college, work, or the armed forces, you should allow yourself countless experiences, knowing that failing is okay. Trust me, in high school, I have attempted to get involved in many different things. Some were not my forte, like shot put, where the ball couldn't even fit in my hand, or pole vaulting, where I'm 5 feet tall. That didn't work out for me. But at least I tried. And although being unsuccessful was embarrassing and perhaps discouraging, there was one thing that kept me going: the support. Whether it's a sports game, a concert, a play, speech, or even graduation, most of the audience was filled with family members. As a young athlete, my parents would come to my games after work. By no means was I a superstar, but it was the best feeling in the world to see them act like I was. When I was off the field, thank goodness, and on the stage, I actually wasn't that bad. Either way, they were my biggest fans and supported my triumphs, decisions, and failures. The emotions are indescribable when their faces are the first thing I saw after my performances. Taking the time out of their day to watch me meant the world. Their love and sacrifices they make are just a small part of what they do. Think about it. Remember when you missed the bus and they brought you to school? Or when they dropped off a poster that you stayed up late to finish the night before? Or even when you weren't old enough to work, so they paid for your lunch? I do. No matter what, my parents were always there to lend me a hand, to guide me when I was unsure of what to do. Mom, Dad, it is because of you and your guidance that I'm graduating today. You have given me a goal of who I want to be. You've taught me how to go through life with a smile on my face, seeing the best in people and in situations. Also, if it weren't for my brother and sister, I would not have the tolerance to handle a roommate. To all of my family, though I am now going off to Southern, home will always be where you are. And I will be home a lot more than you think. I asked my classmates, who has been there for you? Who is your backbone that made this day possible? Whoever it is, let them know you appreciate them. Thanks to their support, you are walking across the stage today. Let's give them a round of applause. Before we all go our separate ways, I wish you happiness and success. My hopes for you are that you live life to the fullest, so you can look back and say that life has exceeded your expectations. Do not stop with a job you kinda like, or an apartment that doesn't have heat or air conditioning, or even a car that breaks down a lot. Do not be content with dreaming. Make it a reality. Get out there and try. Make mistakes. Strive to learn. It is inevitable that you will fail sometimes, like I mentioned earlier. But other times, you'll accomplish the unthinkable, the amazing. Last year, my sister graduated high school. She decorated her cap with the famous Dr. Seuss quote, "Oh, the places you'll go." Which begs the question, where are you going? It's up to you to decide how much work, time, and effort you're going to put into your future. The class of 2018 is full of ambitious, creative, and hardworking individuals, so I have no doubt you will all be happy and prosperous. Lastly, to continue my family tradition, I'll leave you with this Dr. Seuss quote. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. Thank you, and congratulations. At this time, I would like to introduce the Enfield High School salutatorian of the class of 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Jason Chen.
Welcome, friends, family, teachers, administrators, and of course, my fellow classmates. I feel both honored and privileged to stand before you today. This evening, we celebrate the graduation of the Enfield High School class of 2018. I would like to thank all the people gathered here today for our graduation. In many ways, we would not be here if not for all of you. For our parents who supported us through the joyous times and the hardships we had to endure. And for everybody else, our terrific teachers, amazing administrators, and fantastic friends. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your constant and reliable support. And now to the graduates. Congratulations, we finally made it. The days could not go by fast enough, but the time is finally here. And let's face it, we went through quite a lot to get here. As Justice Cabral once stated, life is an ocean. It can be calm or still, rough or rigid, but in the end, it will always be beautiful. This metaphor extends its way into all of our lives here today. These past 13 years of school have exemplified both our personal peaks and our less than perfect moments. But ultimately, our educational career has taught us so much about ourselves. From the days of elementary school, when we were still truly innocent at heart, when the most important part of our day was recess and lunchtime, to the awkward and hilarious moments of middle school, such as the dances where the boys and the girls were seamlessly divided by an invisible partition. And finally, when we reached the hectic and unpredictable jungle, also known as high school. As freshmen and sophomores, we felt overclassed and we simply followed the flow of things, like mindless sheep. When we finally became upperclassmen, we felt a sense of invincibility. But this was quickly squandered by a multitude of standardized tests, like the SAT, AP test, and our usual nemesis, midterms and finals. As seniors, we constantly worried about our future and what it would hold for us. But at the same time, most of us had senioritis since the first day of school. Thus, all these years, experiences, awkward stages, relationships, failures, and accomplishments have parted us with wisdom and prepared us for the next step to the future. The future is and should be bright, but what truly makes life valuable is that it does not last forever. We must be willing to change and dare to be unique and impactful. As most people would say, shoot for the stars, and the sky is the limit. But in my opinion, we should focus on what is right in front of us and take matters one step at a time. However, this is easier said than done. Life is an endless, ferocious ocean that stands unwavered by the presence of today's eager minds. We are all standing on the shore, afraid to dive into new waters. And you may be afraid because you don't want to say goodbye to the past. Some of us are going off to college, others are joining branches of the military, or getting a job, or even just taking a year off. But whatever you chose to pursue, know that you get out of it what you put into it. And you can make your future whatever you want it to be. At the beginning of this year, you stood there looking out at your options for the future. The icy clear water, the choppy sea, and the fast-flowing river. And they all looked very appealing to you because you were dying to go for a swim, to take a leap of faith in life. But you know that the water is going to be freezing cold, and the future is going to be tough and filled with seemingly insurmountable tasks. And when you reach the other side, you will have become another person, and you are scared to meet that new version of yourself. Now, we all get used to our own personas, and we're used to our own comfort zones. But trust me, in order to truly live, we must keep daring, keep diving. As I leave you tonight, and as we depart from EHS as a class of 2018, keep this bittersweet thought in mind. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. I would just like to say, for one final time, congratulations, and I wish you the best for years to come. Thank you.
We're going to walk down to your parents. On behalf of the General Assembly, Representative Greg Stokes and Representative Carol Hall are here to present a proclamation to Jason Chen. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly offers its sincerest congratulations to Jason Chen. We will now present that to his parents.
At this time, I would like to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2018, who will give the valedictorian address. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss Orly Berry.
Good evening. I too want to welcome everyone here tonight. Ms. Clark, Superintendent Drezek, the Board of Education members, faculty and staff of Enfield High, friends, family, and especially the class of 2018. I would like to start with a story from 12 years ago. About halfway through kindergarten, my teacher had us line up, paint our hands, and stick them on a poster board. I know what everyone's thinking. How can a story of 25 6-year-olds covered in paint end well? But just hang in there. As we smashed our hands on the poster board, she asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up. The boy in front of me, peeling his green hand away from the board, enthusiastically predicted his future as a police officer. After I left my purple handprint, I chose to be a veterinarian and stepped aside. The girl behind me, leaving a blue handprint, looked at my teacher and said, "I am going to be the tooth fairy." I was floored. What a fantastical dream. I had yet to begin so far out of the box. Although it would be hard to achieve the status of the tooth fairy, I think we can all take a very important lesson from that 6-year-old girl. Create your own dream for your life and work for it. As important as it is to dream, there is more in achieving something than just thinking about it. As Henry David Thoreau explained, I learned that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in common hours. First of all, aren't dreams supposed to be attainable? Thoreau shows us that the only limits you face are the ones that you place on yourself. So what does it mean to advance in the direction of your dreams? It means to choose a path, one that will keep you willing to continuously challenge yourself. Furthermore, advancing confidently in your journey is yet another key point presented by Thoreau. To advance means to move forward, to pursue. In order to advance on that path you decided on, you need to keep your head up and believe that you are ready and able to face any challenge presented to you. The word endeavors is a crucial choice of diction by Thoreau, too, because the use of it implies the struggle and dedication you need to achieve your dream. You must do your best. You must put your best conscious effort into achieving your dream. The overarching essence of this quote, you have to be confident in yourself and determined to achieve what you want in life. As I grew up, I began to look at people who were household names for inspiration. I wanted to be as globally influential as John Locke, have my name as revered as John F. Kennedy, or have a story as inspirational as Oprah's. If they could achieve their dreams, so could I. What I found is sometimes the most inspiring stories happen right in front of you, not in an encyclopedia. I know the story of a man who walked into work one day to discover he had lost his job at a filter company. But instead of being discouraged by the potentially drastic situation he found himself in, he decided it was to reach for his next goal. He and his wife worked together, endeavored to open their own filter company. Although finances were sometimes tight, their determination and confidence in their abilities built a business and put 2 girls through college. I'm proud to say that this is the story of my grandparents, Ken and Kathy Crouch. Today, Crouch Associates is still running steadily, directly out of the same house it began in. Mimi, Pa, thank you for showing me that dreaming big doesn't mean getting my name on the front of a magazine, but rather creating goals that I think make my life more meaningful. Of course, in order to accomplish the goals you set for yourself, there's one other requirement besides determination and confidence. As my grandparents demonstrated, you need a support system. Something in the midst of all your work, you can lose sight of the end, and everything just gets overwhelming. But the friends and family you have are there to show you the sun just behind the gray clouds. I'm so fortunate to have such amazing people around me. For example, I probably would have starved long ago if it wasn't for Madison DeLauro's endless supply of Cheez-Its. Or Danielle Delano, who believed in me sometimes more than I believed in myself. Or the Lumbert family, who gave me a second home. And Haley Woods, who was always willing to lend a helping hand in everything from National Honor Society to calculus problems. Caroline Williams, who kept me sane during our trip to Spain. Sarah Passmore, who put up with all of my dumb pranks. Katie Musgrave, who always made me laugh, even in the longest of physics classes. Melanie Navin, who stayed friends with me, even after I got hangry on our plane ride. And Andrea Mashak, the head of the Enfield Youth Council, for helping me develop the skills that I need to be speaking in front of you today. And of course, my remarkably supportive family, who have been my biggest fans, attending everything from soccer games to dance recitals. I would not be able to pursue my dream of working for the CDC if it were not for all of you. Harriet Tubman once said, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer." Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars and change the world. Class of 2018, please raise your hands. I promise this will be the last time you have to do so during your high school career. Just as I was inspired by this young girl, her handprint, and her dreams so many years ago, I find myself blown away by the handprints in front of you today. These are the handprints that, inspired by some pretty remarkable dreams, will be shaping the future. You guys can put your hands down. Angelina Hippolytos will be sculpting and painting art showcased in museums all around the country. Isabella Harris's will be working to conserve wildlife in Africa. Jacob Dubar will be repairing the automotives that are so vital to each of our everyday lives. Sydney Nash will be swinging by her side as she blows everyone away at her college track meets. Jordan Therian will be preparing luxurious cakes in the trendiest bakery. Nick Marion will be saluting the flag as he serves in the armed forces. Brittany Wagners will be inspiring the next generation of young minds to think analytically. Isabella Duertes will be shaking the hands of other ambassadors as they seal a new deal. Kristen Kuchers will be holding her plane tickets to Greece to learn about a new culture and gain appreciation for those with whom she shares the world. These are just a few dreams from the class of 2018. Graduates, please remember that you have amazing potential right by your sides, because not only will we be shaping the future, you will be shaping our future. Class of 2018 graduates, I am honored to have spent the past 4 years with you. I know that you are going to accomplish the incredible because you're already on your way there. You have spent the last 4 years learning how to work hard, and you've already chosen your next path. As you journey down that path, please remember the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So no matter what your dream is, whether it's to own your own business, to raise a happy and healthy family, or even be the next tooth fairy, remember that anything is possible as long as you have the dedication and determination to work for it. And don't forget to enjoy yourself along the way. Thank you, class of 2018. And I hope no matter where your next step takes you, you are advancing confidently in the direction of your dreams.
On behalf of the Connecticut General Assembly, Representative Greg Stokes and Representative Carol Hall would like to present you this proclamation. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly offers its sincerest congratulations to Orly Berry.
And now, to present the class of 2018, please help me in welcoming Enfield High School Principal, Miss Erin Clark.
Mr. Drezek, Mr. Krizel, Mayor Ludwig, members of the Board of Education, members of the Town Council, Enfield High School faculty, invited guests, parents, and members of the class of 2018. Tonight I welcome you as we join together as members of the Enfield High School community to honor our distinguished graduates. To the graduates, I know I speak for all of the educators here when I say what a privilege it has been to watch you grow over the years. It has been our pleasure to watch this class, the class of 2018, excel in so many areas: academics, art, athletics, music, robotics, and the list goes on and on. As adults, we are often inspired by young people, and we were certainly inspired by the remarkable students in this class. We were inspired by your compassion as you participated in unified sports and organized fundraisers for hurricane victims. We were inspired by your civility as you planned a tribute to Parkland that was respectful and inclusive of students with a variety of viewpoints. We were inspired by your courage as you performed in front of large audiences in athletics, music, and drama. The class of 2018 undoubtedly left a legacy here at EHS, and we are forever grateful. When I think about your futures, certainly I hope you have success in your careers and financial stability, but the most important thing I hope for all of you is to be happy and fulfilled in your daily lives. We sometimes think of happiness as this fuzzy, abstract concept that is hard to define, but we actually now know much more than we used to about the science of happiness. I was watching the news a few months ago, and they featured a story on a new psychology course at Yale that has surged in popularity. It's now the most popular course ever in Yale history, and you can take it online for free. It's called The Science of Well-Being. The school decided to offer this course since so many of its students were struggling with depression and anxiety. The professor, Dr. Laurie Santos, theorized that many students had spent years deprioritizing happiness to reach their future academic success and put their emotional health on the back burner. By sharing the science of happiness, she hoped to provide her students with the tools to make positive changes. The course highlights two key points. One, people have misconceptions about what will make them happy. Two, your happiness is very much in your control. Why do we have false perceptions about what will make us happy? It's partly due to social comparison. Comparing your life to the lives of others is a surefire way to make you less satisfied. This is exacerbated by watching TV and scrolling through social media. The other problem is that we tend to focus on the wrong things. Despite our belief that more money will bring happiness, research shows otherwise. When you get a raise at work, you just keep wanting a larger and larger salary. People think a new car, People think a new car, a new train, a better wardrobe. or a new home will make them happier. But the research shows more stuff does not improve our emotional well-being. Some people think if only I could find true love, or if only I could have the perfect body, then I would be happy. These are also not supported by the research. So if money, material possessions, true love, and physical beauty won't bring us happiness, what will? Yale suggests 8 simple practices for improving your well-being. They include exercising, sleeping well, avoiding distraction through mindfulness activities, carrying out acts of kindness, social connection, being grateful for what you have, and setting challenging but attainable goals. Finally, you should consciously engage in the practice of savoring. Savoring means to delight or enjoy something while you are in the midst of experiencing that thing. Graduates, I ask you to savor this moment right now. Look around you and take it all in. Feel the excitement of this wonderful celebration. Feel the love and admiration of your family and friends. For those of you who have had to overcome challenges and struggles to be here, feel how glorious it is to persevere and triumph. Take in the collective sense of excitement for what the future holds and the bittersweet nostalgia for memories made. Slow down for just an instant before you rush ahead into your next life endeavor and savor this moment. Graduates, you will move on after today and set new goals and embark on new endeavors. It is only natural to constantly strive for a better future, and you should. But as you think about your future, don't miss out on the present. Take a little time each day and at every step along the way to savor the moment you're in. Mr. Drezek, on behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff of Enfield High School, I proudly present to you the graduating class of 2018. They have satisfactorily completed all the graduation requirements of Enfield High School and the Enfield Public Schools.
Please help me welcome our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Christopher Drezek.
Try not to mess with this. Thank you, Tyler. To the class of 2018, I have some good news and I have bad news. First with the bad news. There is no way I'm singing to you tonight. Okay. Now, I've spent the past 12 months answering that question, so let me be very clear. The answer is no. And since I've probably disappointed most of you, now I'll give you guys the good news. First of all, class of 2018, we're even. You see, I gave you all a gift last year that you probably didn't realize, and that's that I got Mr. Longy out of here so you can actually enjoy your senior year. So, you're welcome. So, now I don't want you all to feel slighted since your classmates last year were serenaded to, so I've decided to start a new tradition. I'm going to ask your former principal, Mr. Longy, and your current principal, Ms. Clark, to act out our appreciation for you in an expressive dance to the song from the iconic 80s movie Dirty Dancing. Now that song's called I've Had the Time of My Life. And I don't think a song better encompasses what we're all feeling here today. So if we can cue the music and make some room, I'm going to ask the two of you to join me. No? You're not into it? Okay. All right, I'm kidding. I'm not, sorry. I promised I'd be brief. I'm not going to actually make them dance, but what I really wanted out of this is for all the students to yell at both of them every time they see them, hey, you guys going to dance next year? Just like I've gotten the singing question for the past 12 months. But my last gift to you guys is that I will try to keep my remarks short so we can get on to what we're all here for, that's your diplomas. So all joking aside, this evening is about you, the graduates of Enfield High School's class of 2018. Now this evening is also about your families, your teachers, your parents, grandparents, siblings, and family members that have supported you in order for you to reach this achievement. Now although you all put in the hard work to earn the gowns you're wearing, I can assure you that it was probably more difficult for your families and teachers helping to get you here today. We all know that raising teenagers isn't easy, and your families and teachers should receive a well-deserved round of applause. See, I didn't even have to warn you. But standing here this evening, I can't help to think of conversations I've had with friends and maybe some of you in the audience over the past year about what we heard of kids today. Now, the conversations would typically start by a comparison of how our generations grew up, but then the conversation would morph into such things such as kids today can't even write a complete sentence without using an LOL or an IDK or something else I can't repeat in public. I'd often hear that kids today have no attention span because they're always glued to their phones, or that they have no patience since the instant gratification of Google and Snapchat satisfies their inquiry in seconds. Now, for the most part, I didn't always have a good argument to defend you kids today. But I knew, because of what I saw walking the halls of our schools, just how wrong this assertion was. Now, things changed a few months ago. This generation did what most of us here believed they could. They found their voice. And they used it. And they used it to influence change. Not just for themselves, which was another Kids Today comment I would often hear, but for trying to make our town, our state, our country, and the world a better place. Now, we no longer hear stories about kids eating Tide Pods or how much trouble we are in with this generation. We instead hear now about how mature, well-informed, and articulate our kids are in expressing their views. I could proudly say that the students of Enfield High School not only displayed maturity well beyond their years, but handled themselves with grace and dignity during very difficult conversations that all of us should be very proud of. So for the parents and teachers who often had the similar conversations like I've had about kids today, rest assured, you all did something right. So this is the part of the address that I'm supposed to give you guys some inspirational words as you move on to the next phase of your lives. Now, typically people up here will use an inspirational quote from someone in history to demonstrate the point they're trying to make. And as I began looking through some of my favorites, all the expected leaders came to mind. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Robert F. Kennedy, and everyone's favorite, Anonymous. But the more I thought about it, nothing I came across really captured the message that I wanted to send. And then it hit me. Who better to take inspiration from than the graduating class themselves? So as Anthony Gaetani stated, life is tough. And you know what? He's absolutely correct. However, you've all been through some sort of adversity in your lives, but managed to get here this evening, proving to yourselves that you can do whatever you put your minds to. Or as Nicholas Watson stated, I'm just happy I could tell my parents I told you so. So where's Nicholas? Nick, you're 100% right. Now, I'm sure your parents never really doubted you, but if that's what they used to motivate you to be here tonight, it worked. More importantly, you now have proof that no goal is too high for you to achieve. Now, you don't need to turn to me or anyone else up here for inspiration. It's actually sitting all around you right now. Just ask Megan Doobie, who said she believed she could, so she did. Words cannot be more true, and there's nothing I can say that's better than that. I do have to take this opportunity to warn Skylar Klink, though, who said, if I still look this good in 10 years, I'll be happy. Now, I commend you for setting goals, Skylar, but unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that we're all living proof that Father Time stops for no one, so I hope you're not disappointed. There is one quote, however, that's not directly from you guys that I think it's important to share. It's actually from Jon Stewart, the comedian and talk show host. Jon said to the graduating class of the College of William & Mary, let's talk about the real world for a moment. I don't really know how to put this, so I'll be blunt. We broke it. Please don't be mad. With that said, I know you are all ready to fix it, and I couldn't be more confident that you are all ready for whatever challenge lies ahead of you, and the lessons and experiences you've had at Enfield High School have prepared each of you to reach your dreams and aspirations to make this world a better place for all of us. I think your classmate, Ileana Cruz, summed it up best when she stated, "You be all right." So good luck, class of 2018, and Godspeed. Members of the Enfield Board of Education, by the authority bestowed upon me by the state of Connecticut, I do hereby certify that the class of 2018 has successfully met or exceeded all the requirements prescribed by the Connecticut State Board of Education and the Enfield Board of Education. Chairman Cruzel, I recommend the awarding of diplomas.
And now for the presentation of the diplomas, please help me welcome the Chairman of the Board of Education, Mr. Walter Cruzel.
Okay. Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2018, on behalf of the entire Board of Education, I would like to congratulate you on your graduation and for your achieving this very important milestone of your lives. I would also like to acknowledge the work and help of your parents, friends, as well as past and present faculty and staff, administration that were there to help you over these last 12 years. Congratulations. As you know, you are fortunate to be the second class to graduate from this one united class from this beautiful building behind us, well, behind the black curtain anyway. For some of you, the first 2 years were during construction, which let me say that you took all of it with stride and made the best out of the situation. So the question you all have now is, what's next? As I look around, I see all of you have delight and gladness that this chapter of your life is over, and you all will go out and start the next chapter as you see fit. But with that, there's also sadness that goes through your hearts that many of you go separate ways after tonight to do so. So, I'm going to go off script here a little bit. I didn't want this part in the speech, but I do want to congratulate our principal, Ms. Erin Clark, for her first year as principal. So we can give her a round of applause. And all the other faculty that stepped up this last year and filled in all the, like we did. We rearranged the deck chairs, so back on script here. So I promised Mr. Drezek I would be brief, as this is only the second time I spoke at a graduation. The first being 34 years ago as class president of my own high school, which is actually 34 years tomorrow. While writing this speech, I looked up speeches and famous quotes, but I didn't want to bore you with all that. But I did find one quote that I'd like to leave with you, and here it is. To those of you who received honors, awards, and designations, I say well done. And to the C students, I say you too may one day be president of the United States. A quote by George W. Bush, our 43rd president. But I would like to add that you could also be chairman of this board, or any board for that matter. So let me say again, on behalf of the 9 members of our Board of Education, we are proud of all of your accomplishments and look forward to seeing you continue and strive for greatness. And I promised it would be short, so here's my last statement. Thank you all, God bless you, and God bless these United States of America. Thank you.
I now invite Mrs. Gagnon, Mr. Clark, and Ms. Coxa-Blockwell forward to read the names.
Moving this back. So I just see it on the side. Yeah.
Just try to get this close.
Aaron, let me know when you want to start. What? When am I going to start? Are we good? Yep. Yeah, you can start.
Oralee Erin Berry. Jason Chen. Elizabeth Marie Collins. Tyler Nicholas Murphy. Travis John Adam Henson. Brandon Thomas Algazino. Taina Alisea. Kiana Tiara Ali. Nana Amwabang III. Alexandra Marie Anderson. Maxwell Connor Anderson. Dakota Hunter Andrewsikis. Jennifer Marie Attinello. Colin James Atwood. Devin Joseph Aubie. Sahar Babar. Jared Robert Bagley. Eric Raymond Belarjan. Megan Jean Balisano. Rachel Elizabeth Barra. Andrew Walter Barnes. Anthony James Barnes. Cassandra Lynn Barth. John Thomas Barth III. Mary Martha Baskerville. Richard James Batchelder. Victoria Lynn Bates. Andrew Thomas Bazzano Jr. Caitlin Marie Becker. Nathan David Bedard. Carter Payne Bellevue. Peyton Jane Benton Hamilton. Taylor Marie Bergen. Nicholas Edward Bila. Matthew Stephen Blaisdell. Jonathan Eduardo Glass. Alexis Taylor Blodgett. Kylie Destiny Lynn Bosley. Jaquan Kyrie Bowen. Delaney Joyce Bowles. Justin James Stephen Bowling. Ethan John Boyer. Madison Rose Brady. Kylie Ann Brennan. Matthew Francis Broder. Sarah Alyssa Brunetti. William Scott Bryson. Colby Aaron Burgess. Edward Conrad Burgess. Deegan Patrick Burke. Alec Miles Burkholder. Trent Fairbanks Byers. Thomas Clark Byron. Alexandra Lee Capo de Casa. Nathan Philip Capaldo. Caitlin Elizabeth Capiello. Kevin Rutillo Carballo. Olivia Maria Cardoni. Skipper Andrew Carlander. Giovanni Breton Carrero. Sarah Marie Castle. Mujahid Castor. Caitlin Jonette Siniglio. Darielle Elise Serrato. Ryan James Chapman. Logan Sterling Chase. Nathan Wayne Chesworth. McKenna Carol Chouanier. Julia Chimuk. Madison Taylor Cohen. David Charles Colton. Jeremy George Comfrey. Maria Alejandra Concha Sanchez. Megan Lindsay Connery. Sean James Cooney. Sarah Elizabeth Kopak. Daniel Paul Cosman. Frank James Caspito Jr. Seth Charles Corshane. Catherine Ashley Corville. Kristen Marie Kucher. Demetria Summer Crease. Kayliana Marie Criscio. Brittany Ann Cruikshank. Tiffany Marie Cruikshank. Eliane Cruz. Renee Lizette Cushion. Sarah Luciana Cushion. Rachel Elizabeth Cutter. Cody Daniel Dang. Rashawn Yukol Davis. Jenna Marie Dialba. Danielle Rose Delano. Marilyn De Leon. Jocelina Page Delgado. Dylan Tyler Demain. Lauren Nicole Denny. Joshua Porfirio Diaz. Tyler Thomas DiCostanzo. Madison Grace DeLoro. Ludovica Dinka. Sean Joseph Donahue. Dagan Dosick. Isabella Duarte. Riley Jane Dubchi. Megan Marie Doobie. Jacob Arthur Dubois. Mason Alexander Dumas. Valerie Marie Eckenroth. Alyssa Rose Engelman. Talia Alexandria Epps. Karina Francesca Filipa. Antonio Salvatore Fiore. Clinton David Fisher. Haley Danielle Fisher. Katerina Alexandra Fonseca. Tyler Eugene Fontaine. Alexis Paige Forbes. Thomas Edward Fontaine. Alexis Yvonne Fournier. Amanda Marie Foy.
Taylor Elizabeth Fritz. Anthony Joseph Gaetani. Cameron Michael Gaylor. Taylor Jean Gigalone. Nicholas Richard Jem. Jenna Rose Janko. Tucker Ethan George. Theodore Edward Gisbrandt, Jr. Relasia Janine Gilbert. Amy Elizabeth Ginsburg. Yvonne Victoria Gerard. Eric Stephen Glettenberg. Alexis Destiny Gonzalez. Christian Jeffrey Gonzalez. Emma Glenn Gould. Joseph Matthew Goulet. Charles Andrew Gauss. Griffin Michael Gray. Miranda Marie Grillo. Francesca Grimaldi. Rhiannon Isabel Jean Grimmett. Natalie Krista Lauren Hall. Trent Joseph Hamburg. Nadine Hanny Hamad. Alan Philip Hanna. Isabella Nicole Harris. Alyssa Jean Haskins. Tori Renee Hatcher. Kiani Alexis Hayes. Molly Ann Henderson. Thomas David Herzig. Jonathan Bruce Higginbotham. Siobhan Miracalise Hill. Angelina Lily Hippolito. Kalisha Brianna Height. Connor Kevin Holmes. Cody James Holmes. Madison Rose Holmes. Madeline Shea Holobecki. Madison Kayla Marie Howell. Kelsey Hewitt. Brittany Rose Heichel. Cameron Ray Irish. Makan Sidhu Isaac. Benjamin Maha Eve. Jocelyn Diana James. Megan Elizabeth Jameson. Nicholas James Jefferson. Connor Wilson Uhas. Max Raymond Jutras. Patrick Thomas Pala Kane. Azazel Christopher Kaufman. Hannah Elizabeth Keene. Andrew Lawrence Ketchel. Tyler J. King. Sean David Kirkbride. Skylar Klink. Kaylee Marie Close. Trey William Klazuski. Jalen Marquise Kohler. Adam Kusta. Megan Lynn Lebrec. Tiana Lily Lamontagne. Lisa Lynn Lampro. Devin Alexis Landry. Kyla Hope LaRusso. Nathan Adam Lavery. Delaney Lynn Lawler. Jonathan Orion LeDuc. David Lee. Brianna Kelly Lejeune. Kaylin Marie Lego. Megan Marie LeHuyer. Angela Grace LaTrenta. Alexa Ann Liucci. Cara Faith Lazat. Xochi Daniela Llanas. Haley Rose Longo. Madeline Claire Ludwig. Brandon Lewis Lucas. Madison Lynn Lumbert. Scott William Lundy. Caitlin Rita Lynch. Ariana Linnell Maggio. Erica Lee Magnuson. Anthony Joseph Mayolo. Sarah Maureen Malnikoff. Harley Marie Mangine. Brittany Christina Mangus. Michaela Rain March. Sarah Margaret Marcotte. Haley Ray Marinelli. Sarah Elizabeth Marino. Isaiah Joseph Marquez. Daniel Patrick Marsh. Nicholas David Howard Martin. Robert Arthur Mataki. Stacy Rose McCann. Emily Rose McLean. Tajane Renee McLean. Sierra Elizabeth Menard. Michelle Carmen Mendoza Cruz. Margaret Susan Murkick. Haley Marie Merrill. Samantha Rose Merrill. Alyssa Marie Myers. Jordan Elizabeth Miller. Sean Andrew Miller. Chelsea Louise Millette. Abigail Arlene Mission. Larissa Hope Montigny. Ashley Forette Morace. Samantha Jean Moreau. David Mark Morgan. Victoria Elizabeth Mosher. Victoria Alexis Mullen. Elizabeth Sarah Mulligan. Nicholas James Murdoch. Ryan James Murphy. Jordan Elizabeth Murray. Catherine Elizabeth Musgrave. Jessica Ann Muslin. Noah Prescott Nash.
Samuel Peyton Nash. Sydney Elizabeth Nash. Melanie Ann Navin. Emily Diane Neville. John Lance Nelson. Colin Joseph O'Connell. Grace Young A. O'Neill. Wilfredo Joseph Ortiz. Angelise Marie Ortiz Gonzalez. Ahmed Othman. Jacob John Olette. Antonio Angel Ortiz. Jason Thomas Pasalacqua. Sarah Kathleen Passmore. Bonnie Annette Patrick. Kaylee Yvonne Pease. Michael Joseph Pellegrino. Adam Joel Pelletier. Ryan John Penny. Maria Maureen Peretta. Hunter Testudo Pinvangza. Coop P. Victoria Rose Piazza. Marissa Joelle Picard. Richard Vern Pierce III. Connor Pingley Bala. Kaylee Evelyn Piat. Auburn Paige Pitkin. Jordan Mykese Poe. Jenna Lynn Porcello. Nigea LaShawn Preston. Brianna Nicole Preventure. Mark Stephen Quinn. Eduardo Quinones Castro. Alyssa Gail Rabida. Aviana Marie Radell. Aisha Rofe. Zachary Jason Rolanitis. Shane Robert Riddell. Heaven Lee Rich. John Allen Riley. Lexi Marie Rio. Amanda Nicole Ripley. Garrett John Ritchie. James Samuel Rivera. Gregory Allen Roberts. Laura Rocha Nunez. Leilani Angelique Rodriguez. Eric James Rogers. Megan Elizabeth Rooney. Robert Charles Root. Marcus Rosado. Naomi Nicole Rosado. Ryan Anthony Rugani. Stefan Michael Ruggiero. Reynaldo Ruiz. Sean Wilbert Ryan. Jamie Gerard Santiago Jr. Nahim Romero Santiago. Julia Hope Santino. Elena Carmelita Santos. Wyatt Samuel Scribner. Dominic John Sergnis. Paige Kylie Shackford Tyler. Michael Paul Shanley. Nathan James Shanahan. Nicholas Haley Shanahan. Carissa Marie Shaw. Ryan Michael Shermer. Mayar Chokri. Rachel Elizabeth Silva. Ashley Yin Simmons. Thomas Yang Simmons. Kayla Rose Simons. Kristen Marie Slavin. Ashley Laura Smith. Dylan Tyler Smith. Kayla Lynn Smith. Madison Ray Smythe. Sanjay Sori-Rajan. Dylan Matthew Sperry. Warren Richard Stoja. Katrina Lee Stoller. Aiden Donahue Stone. Patrick James Stone. Kevin Michael Stroini. Kenneth Sanborn Strout V. Avery Michael Sullivan. Amanda Marie Taylor. Jordan Marie Therian. Jenna Lynn Thibodeau. Jacob William Thompson. Desiree Toledo. Sarah Michelle Tolo. Josh Torres. Brendan Michael Turner. Alexander Joseph Underwood. Matthew John Usher. Emma Kate Vane. Nicholas Charles Vermette. Robert Vose. Brittany Ann Wagner. Daria Washington. Nicholas Lewis Watson. Najata Watara. Jolyn Wayne. Caitlin Elizabeth Wentworth. Jasmine Yolanda Colleen Wiggin. Caroline Elizabeth Williams. Renee Lynn Wilson. Cole River Wood. Haley Mackenzie Woods. Destiny Kaisha Vivian Ray. Fatima Al-Zahara Yunus. Aisha Zara. John Paul Zaroli.
Grand Marshals, please have the graduates stand. Graduates, please make sure your tassel is placed on the right side of your cap. At this time, please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left side.
Ladies and gentlemen, as our last official act as class presidents, may we present to you the graduated class of 2018. Thank you to all of our guests for sharing our commencement. Have a great night.